Hello everyone, Beard Reads Books here, and in today's review I'm going to be reviewing a graphic novel, Preacher Gone to Texas. It's the first book in a series of 9 books, so this one it's sort of more just setting up the characters, the general storyline and all the rest. So all it is, there's a preacher guy called Jesse Castor, and he's got a band of 3. He's got a vampire friend, an Irish vampire, 90-year-old, like 90 odd years old, called Cassidy. And there's also Jesse's ex-girlfriend, Tulip. And the basic storyline is as set up in this book. There's been an angel and a demon. They've sort of had sex and had an offspring that's referred to as Genesis. And Genesis was being kept sort of imprisoned, locked up in heaven, and it manages to escape from heaven, goes down to earth because it wants to, sort of merge with a human with a soul and sort of become complete. So it goes down to Texas, where Jesse's been a pastor at a little church, been a reverend pastor at a church for about 5 years, merges with him, and when it merges with him, the entire congregation of about 200 people get wiped out. Yeah, and also what happens is God, about the time that this sort of Genesis has been created, born, whatever you want to call it, God disappears from heaven, goes down to earth. Nobody knows where God is. So yeah, he's disappeared. Now when Genesis merges with Jesse, kind of gives Jesse a bit of a superpower. When he sort of says the word of, speaks to somebody in sort of with using the power of this sort of Genesis, it's like he's using the word of God. It's whatever he says as the word of God. It's people could obey him, command, do whatever he commands. And he basically decides that, Jesse does, he's going to find God. He's going to go on a search around Earth to find God and ask him questions like, what's going on? Why have you left heaven? Why have you abandoned the post, kind of thing. When Genesis was sort of in heaven, being kept locked up in heaven, he's being kept is guardians were the Adelphi. They were supposed to be keeping an eye on him. So when Genesis escaped from heaven, one of the Adelphi, he sort of hires the help of what a character referred to as the Saint of Killers to try and find Genesis and put a stop to Genesis. Now the Saint of Killers, it's a person he's a character that's so cold-hearted, mean-spirited and all the rest that sort of Satan didn't want him in hell. So he's if I remember rightly, this Saint of Killers, he's kind of sort of trapped on Earth. I can't, it's been a while since I've read the series. I think it's probably a good sort of 15 years ago I last read them, so I can't really remember. I've forgotten a lot of the details. And like I said, in this book, it's just sort of an introduction to the characters and the main storyline. So Saint of Killers, he gets a bit of an introduction, but I can't remember exact details of him. But he's basically an unkillable person whose mission is to try and stop Genesis. So yeah, I mean it's quite a good little graphic novel. It's very very mature content, very adult content. So yeah, it's definitely not a kid's book. And I mean, some of the characters come along, one or two of the characters come across as a bit sort of cliched and all the rest, little bit stereotypical, but that doesn't detract too much from the storyline. I don't think it's still enjoyable, but it's as far as like introductory stories go, like introductory books that are setting up the storyline and all the rest, it's quite a good one. It's not too bad at all. So, and it was really quite nice getting back into it. So, like I said, it's been a while since I've read the series, so I'm gonna enjoy getting back into them. This one, as a general storyline, like I said, wasn't, what did I say? I was about to say it wasn't the most brilliant, but that's underselling it. I mean, it works well as an introduction to the main storyline and to the characters and all the rest. So definitely a good little read, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And from what I remember of all the other books, I think I probably enjoyed the other books a bit more, purely because the storyline's a bit more established. So even though I'd say in this one it's probably a little bit on the weak side, I'm not saying that as a criticism of the book, because obviously any book that's the first book in a series, it's got to set up the storyline and all the rest. So it doesn't benefit from having an established storyline like the other books in the series would have. You know, they benefit from having that established storyline, whereas this one's got to concentrate a bit on setting it up and all the rest. So yeah, when I say that I thought maybe a tiny bit on the weak side, I'm not saying that as a criticism. It's purely because it's just got to spend a bit of time setting things up and all the rest. So that's all that is. So yeah, I mean, it's very good book. I quite enjoyed it, and I mean the fact that I've bought the whole series of 9 books, I think that sort of stands as some kind of testament to the fact that I certainly enjoyed it as a series. So yeah, and like I said, the artwork, it is very good artwork. It's, I mean, definitely the artwork itself is just as good as the stories lines. So yeah, I mean, it's just to give you a bit of an idea of what kind of a storyline it is. There's a bit of the artwork there. So but yeah, guys, I'd say one thing I'd say is, if you see it in a local library, I'd definitely recommend sort of getting it out from the local library, giving it a read through, see what you think, and if you like it, yeah, definitely go out and buy it and get your hands on a few copies. So yeah, well, that's my little review on Preacher Gone to Texas. I hope you've enjoyed, and if you've read it or in any of the books in the series, let me know what you think in the comments, what you thought of it and all the rest. Yeah, and yeah, look forward to hearing from you. Well guys, that's it for this little review video. Hope you've enjoyed. Look forward to seeing you in the next one, and in the meantime, take care.